Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you. And I very briefly, there's no need to repeat everything said, and I've read the briefing sent in helpfully, and thanks to our guests for being here and for being so thorough. But just to briefly say, it's very disturbing to hear from Niall, the last speaker, that the arrangements with the revenue are not adequate, and that while Ross works during the day, that it's not working. There's not a facility to work after hours, and that the proposed solution from the revenue is not adequate. I think that's very disturbing. It would have to be a very key thing we'd look at. And maybe if he or his colleague could elaborate a little maybe on what they see as the proposed workable solution that the revenue won't provide, so that we could at least make the point and incorporate it in our report, Chair, and pursue it. I don't have further to say, because I think there's no point in repeating the argument as very well made already, but I just think it's disturbing, and I think we need to respond to it in a very practical way. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Joe. Neil, I'll go to you.
Chair, I'd ask Damien Roach he has the detail on how the workings of that take place on an inside duty hours and outside duty hours basis with revenue, so I'll ask him to respond.
No problem. Thanks, Neil. Damien, over to you.
Yeah, what's happened at the moment since the 1st of November, we've changed to an AIS system, which is a new European customs clearance software. Up to that, if you declared an import entry, you got everything was approved by the revenue system, and mainly the revenue took VAT and duty firstly, and then everything else as the declaration went through. Then you got your MRN number, and that meant when the goods arrived, you were only waiting for a declaration, whether it was green to travel through customs, orange for inspection by paperwork only, and red for an inspection physical. What's happening now is they're giving you the MRN import entry as you do the entry, which you're trying to do in advance, because we're pre-clearing goods in the UK 2 hours before arrival in the port, which is not what we did in the previous before Brexit. So what you're doing now is you think you have your VAT or duty paid in advance because you've got your MRN entry number. But now what happens, 30 minutes out, revenue are collecting their VAT and duty at that point. Now, at that point, that could be after hours with ferries coming in after 6:30. You can lodge money into the Ross system 24/7. The problem is your customer, or if a freight forwarding agent is representing another customer of a shipment on your trailer, they're not contactable 24/7. So they're not available to make the necessary amendment to the declarant that they've made to add extra funds to the import entry. So that means if you have 40 different customers on your trailer, which we would have regularly, one shipment that has insufficient funds will hold up the other 39 customers' shipments from being delivered on the following day, because they're held in customs till the money is paid. So that is the issue. They've changed the format, which is still in place for shipments coming in by air and by deep sea. You still clear those goods when they've arrived in the ports. The UK system is the only system that now you clear goods prior to arrival in the port of Holyhead, Fishguard or Pembroke, but you don't know whether the funds in place that are required are in place up to 30 minutes before arrival. Because if another person clears goods for the same customer through a different port an hour earlier than you clear the goods, that person could take the money you've arranged with the importer. So really you need to clear everything up before you get your MRN number. So during working hours, 9 to 5, you are getting your customers' paperwork and everything in order, so you're not having to wait hoping that nobody else is taking the money you've agreed with the importer to get the goods through customs.